Different song. Oh, all right. Sorry. Take it back.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Straight Talk Boston. Here with Johnny Peasy and Joey Canzano. I'm Billy Pizzullo, and we have got an incredible show for you tonight. It is going to be powerful. We have none other than Anthony Cutler as a guest here. He is the president of the Boston chapter of Turning Point USA, Suffolk University, Boston. He's going to be on with us very shortly. But in the meantime, we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on in the world today. Real quick, we're going to turn it over to Mr. Peasy because he loves to do that thing. As he's undressing, he's stripping for you guys.
He's trying to lose our audience.
All right.
Hello, everybody.
Put it back on.
So let's start in the news, local news. Disgraced state trooper Michael Proctor has dropped his suit to try to get his job back with the state police because they found some very incriminating things in the past on his phone, and I couldn't be happier.
That man, I'll tell you, that guy, I honestly, every word that came out of his mouth during the trial, I wanted to climb through the TV and just slap him right in the mouth. He is so deceitful, so deceitful.
And what a disgrace.
Yeah.
Really, what a disgrace.
Horrifying.
Horrifying. I mean, he set the state troopers. And let me tell you something. I know a lot of state troopers. They do a great job. And, it's unfortunate that every once in a while something like this comes up. But with this here Karen Reed thing, what he did was just awful. Because whether she's guilty, I mean, she got off. And, I have my own beliefs about what happened. But because of him,
yeah, you
gone.
better be quiet about those.
I know.
You better be quiet about those beliefs, buddy.
Hey, what'd you guys think? Did you hear about that big, the Louvre museum in France? Did you hear about that, Joe?
No.
Okay, you got to read the news and watch the.
I can't read.
There was a heist.
Yeah.
And they stole like these crown jewels. Did you read about it, Dodge?
I did not read about it.
You both make me sick. You really do.
I got to tell you, Johnny, my life really, really would be useless if I don't follow France headlines.
Well, it was in all the headlines that these guys went in during the day. Don't
you start banging on the table.
That's right. I got yelled at that last time. But Johnny, I got to be honest with you. I'd rather talk about Bad Bunny than some French, some French freaking scam or whatever.
Come on, get with it.
No. How about Dolly Parton's retirement? That's a great topic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one, actually.
I like it, Johnny.
The explosion of
No, you come up with a good one. The first with the Proctor. I don't have much experience on the Proctor thing. I really don't. You've been following that more than anybody. You have the most knowledge about the Karen Reed trial.
Yeah.
I think than anybody I know. He does. He's.
I watched the entire trial.
Yeah, but you. Oh, yeah, that's right. You and Johnny.
I was the one that was eating his lunch because he kept saying that he was that she was guilty and she hit him with the car, and there's no proof.
Well,
of the gun.
I didn't know you were watching.
Don't get me going.
I didn't know you were. Well, something going to get you going.
I tell you, I watched that trial so much, and that court TV stuff. It's so intriguing. You get hooked up on it.
Right.
At night, when I'd go to bed, I'd say, "May I approach the bed, please?"
Johnny, with my ADHD, OCD, and all that jazz, what do they call it? The whole alphabet I got. And you said it's a lot of CRIP. It's not a. Believe me, I have it bad. I can't focus for more than 10, 15 minutes. I'm gone. I tried to watch Mississippi Burning last night. Great movie. You ever see it? With Willem Dafoe and Gene Hackman. What a movie. What a movie.
No, I've never seen it. So now I have to read the newspaper and go
watch
to
the movies. Oh, God. What a week I'm going to have.
Look, don't be making fun of the elderly, sickly elderly. I have a serious condition. It's called ADHD. I can't focus.
I have ADHD.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
You do not.
I read something.
You're just trying to be sicker than me.
No one's sicker than you, Joe.
Now, I would have normally tapped the thing. But Billy gives me dirty looks. It's like the devil looking at me with those eyes.
Well, that wasn't the only one. You had comments that said, "Tell Joey to stop banging on the table."
I did.
Here's a question, guys, and not getting political or anything, But this peace agreement against Israel and Palestine, right? It's already broke, right? Hamas is shooting people, and they're doing what's going to happen with that? Are soldiers going to go in and wipe them out? What's going on with that?
I predicted a week. Didn't even last a week. I predicted a week.
I never think that ceasefire is never going to happen, and whoever breaks it, it's usually Palestine that breaks it. Hamas is usually the one that crosses the line.
Well, there's a lot of.
But last week, what was it? 2 weeks ago, we were talking about how that Jerusalem or Israel was talking about genocide. So we're in a that's a huge part of the world but it affects every country in the world, without a doubt. I mean, it's amazing to me that no one can bring peace, and the fact that it's so evil, the way that they're trying to annihilate an entire race.
Well, ironically, that we have a guest tonight that is going to be interesting because he knew Charlie Kirk personally, and that's one of the questions I want to ask him. What did he think about Charlie Kirk's descent away from the Israelis, or not the Israeli government, not the Israeli people? So that should be interesting. Hopefully, you have some input on that. What do you think, Billy? Do you have any input on that? What do you think about Charlie Kirk and his thoughts on that?
Well, he had a lot of evidence that he brought out that was contrary to the Israeli government, and he wasn't talking nicely about the prime minister.
No.
So I mean, and you have all the speculation, all the conspiracy theories that Israel killed him and this and that. And listen, I don't know how deep that goes. All I know is it doesn't look good when you start annihilating an entire race. And
He called it genocide, actually.
He did call it genocide, and the fact that they continue it. But it balances out because the Middle East wants to destroy Israel. There's no doubt about it. No country wants Israel to be a superpower.
Existence.
Right. I mean, think about how Israel is a postage stamp.
It really is. 9 million people.
It's a postage stamp, but yet they have so much clout in the world. It's
absolutely
amazing.
How is that possible? Some things they just don't.
Well, obviously, I mean, it goes back to biblical times, like we've talked about many times before. But God put them in place. God put them, caused them to be blessed in the world from the beginning of time. And there are people that will argue that point now, saying it's in Israel that if you still got to stand with Israel. And there are people that say, well, that was back then. It's not the same Israel as it was back then. But the reality is you shouldn't wipe anybody off the planet, bottom line, whether it's Israel, whether it's Hamas, whether the Palestinians. But I mean, if you look at religions per se, the way things are going on in this world, the people that want to dominate are the Muslim religion. It's the average. That's the most. What's the word I'm looking for? They're coming up faster, and they're growing faster than any religion on the planet right now.
That's a fact.
Note I want to also get you taken. What do you think about Trump taking out another drug boat? I think that's incredible. What's it? He's up to 6. They should know what they should do now. They should have a PlayStation game, right? Called Trump Takes Out Another Boat, right?
Yeah, I know.
And then you see little kids at home playing. I'm taking out another boat.
Now you hear the latest what the left is saying. They're asking, how does he know that these are drug boats? In other words, they're insinuating that he's taking out civilian boats. Come on. I mean, they just don't stop.
With the intel that we have,
I know that,
with the cameras in space that we have, we are definitely sure that those are drug boats.
They have to bang the drum for something, Joe. You know that.
Oh my God, it's just crazy. But I mean, and who are these guys that are getting to run the boat? Do they advertise in the newspaper? Hey, we got benefits for you. Yeah, all you got to do is fly this boat across 150 miles, drop off the drugs, come back. If you make it, you may get some money.
Side effects could be blown up.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I'm glad we get this kid coming up today. Maybe some of the questions we're asking, talking about regarding Israel, maybe he can give us some input what Charlie Kirk thought himself on his flip. They said he was flipping against Israel, and I'm just curious what this kid has to
Well,
say.
Joe, you keep on going back to him.
Yeah.
When we still have some other news, like what do you think of the No Kings rally? Were you there? Did you participate?
I
Joe?
couldn't care less about them. I didn't even know there was a King rally.
Really? Well, I know it's no more Burger King. Is that what it's about?
Well, honestly, that's something that we should hit on because
Yeah.
I mean there was so much going on in D.C. with all of this. I mean, I saw a clip of Elizabeth Warren.
Oh.
I posted it.
Oh my God.
Oh my!
Did you hear her? Yay!
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
We're patriots. We're patriots.
For all you people who showed up tonight, yay! I swear to God, did you see it?
Yeah, I saw part of it. She's.
It's. I don't even think it's honestly, Johnny. I don't think that subject is worth talking about. It's so stupid. It didn't even acknowledge it. They're saying 7 million showed up nationally, and like Gutfeld says who gave these numbers?
I know.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
but
it was more than one city that did it. There was Chicago. There was
7 million nationally.
yes,
She said.
Detroit. There was one in Boston. No kings. What? You're making him the king. You're the one that's giving him that title. So if you don't want king, shut up.
Trump said, "Hey, if I was a king, you wouldn't have been able to rally."
Yeah, it's like I said, it's not even worth discussing. It's so stupid. Did you see some of the outfits they were wearing?
Oh, they're ridiculous. Did any of you see Barron Trump, Trump's son?
No.
A Forbes magazine come out. Are you ready for this? Barron Trump is worth $150 million.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
I mean,
And
is
it's probably-
he's worth it, or is that his trust?
No, well, it said he's worth. Forbes magazine come out and said
okay.
he's worth
Okay.
$150 million.
Without getting into a long drag, because that could be a subject. How in God's creation could he be worth that kind of money alone,
Well,
without his
investments,
father's
well,
corporation company?
probably has a lot to do with his father.
I mean, I think it's just a talking point. I mean, the Trump family is worth billions. I mean, we know that. But as far as him being, what is he, 20 years old?
2021, yeah.
I mean,
Something like that, yeah.
it would be ridiculous to believe that he attained that kind of money at 20 years old. What could he have possibly done? I mean, he was born into wealth.
Well,
I mean, it's
not only that, but he's a brilliant kid.
I'm not saying he's not brilliant,
And he probably knows the stock market like inside and out,
but 150 million at 20
Yeah.
years old, I don't know. It's kind of, but hey, good luck to him. He's a Trump. He's not going to ever be broke. That's for sure. What do you think, Billy? Want to take a quick break and then bring on our guest?
Might as well do that. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go real quick to a little break. We want you to hang in there, stick around, because we got plenty more coming at you. So here we go.
Get another mic test.
All right, and we're back. How you guys doing?
Oh, it's great to be back.
Isn't it?
I just got back from the bathroom.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we want to welcome our guest, Anthony Cutler. So we're psyched to have you here, man. We really are. I mean, this is a really it's kind of groundbreaking with our podcast. I mean, we've had some pretty interesting people on as guests before, but this is something that's the local news and the things that have gone on recently. We're just really glad to have you. We got lots of questions for what's going on here in Boston.
Sure, yeah. I'm thrilled to be here, so I'm looking forward to the conversation.
So tell us, Anthony, how did you get started with Turning Point?
So I joined Turning Point in fall of 2022 when I started my time in college at Suffolk University. I was actually looking around for the Republican Club. I came to find out that there wasn't a Republican Club, but I saw Turning Point USA advertised, and Turning Point, the organization, is something that I was familiar with going back to high school, just because I was aware of their presence on social media, but I never looked too much into the organization. And when I found that there was like a Turning Point USA Club, I was definitely intrigued because I knew I was aligned with their values, and I've been involved since.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
How old were you? And well, first of all, before I go any further, you're born in Revere.
Yes.
Okay, and how old were
Born
you?
in Boston, grew up in Revere.
How old were you before you decided you were interested in politics, especially conservative politics?
Yeah, so I was always a politically aware individual. I have very, very, very vague memories of like the 2008 election. I was only like 5, but I just remember hearing discussions. 2012. I was aware of that election. 2016 is when I started because I was starting to develop more. So I was 12, 13 years old. That's when I paid close attention to that election. I was a big supporter of Trump. And I just started learning about the issues then. Always been outspoken in school. And
Did you go to Revere High?
yes.
Did you get a lot of jazz by being a Trump supporter?
Oh, yes. The student body totally loved it. Just kidding. They absolutely despised it. But no, I was always outspoken, and yeah,
How about the teachers, the faculty?
For the most part, there were some teachers that would tell me privately, "I love what you're doing." Then there were other ones who probably didn't love it.
Really?
They just wouldn't say it.
Did it ever get tumultuous at points with students or even teachers?
I'd be called names. I'd be called Donald Trump lover and this and that, but it was really all just like childish stuff. It never got to a severe point.
And quite frankly, those kids probably didn't even know what they were talking about.
Probably not, and they still don't.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I love, Anthony?
Yeah.
I love the fact that, at such a young age, whether no matter what side of the politic thing you got involved.
Yeah.
And that's what I love. I love, when you get involved and you put your heart into it. And, I got to be honest with you, I didn't really know that much about Charlie Kirk. And after he was assassinated, my 3 grandkids, one's 18, 15, and they were so upset. They were so upset, and I was like, wow. So I started to do a little research about, and what a wonderful man. Oh, my God.
Absolutely. He was a man of his faith, and that's something that inspires me, really. Right after his assassination, I've never been the most religious, and it's something that I wish to change, and I've gone to church since then, and I plan to continue to do so because that's something that Charlie Kirk devoted his life to, a significant part of it. And the one thing I really commend Charlie for is his impact on the youth, because it's really a generational thing. Turning Point USA is a youth organization. It's the biggest conservative youth organization in the country. It's something that I'm proud to be a part of. And because of Turning Point USA, Generation Z is the most conservative generation in decades. So it gives me hope for the future.
How did you get to be the president of this movement?
Just through being involved for several years.
They elect you?
Yeah. So we do elections every year for the executive board, and because of my involvement, my commitment, my dedication, I guess that's why my peers believed in me.
And how many people in the organization?
We have about 15 regular members. just because we run into a couple recruitment challenges. The student body, the raw number I'm drawing a blank on, but it's somewhere in the 1,000 to 2,000 range. But you have a significant portion of that. Most of them are commuters, so they're probably not going to spend. You're going to be hard pressed to get people to spend extra time on campus beyond their classes. Most of the student body, my guess would be at least 95% is liberal. So there's a couple challenges, but we have a good group of people going.
I was just going to ask you that. Are you getting a lot of pushback from the professors and all that?
Well, I have to be honest. Fortunately, in my time, in my classes, professors have allowed me, despite our differences, to speak my mind, and I haven't lost points because of it or anything. So I do appreciate that, but I can't always say the same for the student body.
Right.
We've received tons of hate comments. We've received like agitators. We'd put up flyers, and it would be non-offensive stuff. It would say free speech, and people would take those down because liberals don't like free speech, I guess. Well, I don't want to generalize, obviously, but
You're right.
you have a bunch of far-left people who call you.
Do you ever feel intimidated or any kind of violence coming at your way?
I generally, I don't. So I don't know. When I go to campus, I mean, it's always something you have to have at the back of your mind, because you don't know how crazy it takes one person to be crazy and do
Sure.
something. So you always have to be conscious of that. But as of late, there's no credible threats.
Well, you got a lot of guts, I'll tell you, Anthony.
Thank you. I appreciate. Yeah,
You know,
especially in
Anthony,
Boston.
I was the president of my class.
Mhm.
Well, I was homeschooled,
Yeah.
so I was the only one in my class.
And it was also called no class. Jordy, Billy, any question? I know Billy has some questions for you.
I have tons of questions. And,
Sure.
and,
Let's give Billy a shot because, Johnny, you just don't shut up.
It's funny, but the thing you was talking about with the credibility, like you said, it takes one person to set off especially in a place
sure.
like Massachusetts.
Yep.
You're in the hub of whack job city. You know
Oh,
what I
yeah.
mean? Especially in school because they're teaching it.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: what is your actual role? What do you actually do with Turning Point here? What's your responsibility as the president?
I only have to facilitate really things at the campus level, specifically my campus. Yeah, there's coordination with other campuses if we want to put on like joint events, but I really just facilitate the weekly chapter meetings. And in those chapter meetings, we discuss current events. Generally, we get a sentiment of what's going on. We sometimes host guest speakers. That's something I'm usually the point of contact between the speaker or the person who reaches out to the speaker, rather. But it's really just managing things at the campus level in the context of Suffolk University.
So like I know Charlie did all those outdoor things, those
Yeah.
rallies and stuff. So in retrospect, like looking at the local area, what kind of a response do you get if you do hold something like a rally or something?
Yeah, so it's always been a challenge to be able to put on like a change my mind event like that, like Charlie would do. One thing that does come to mind is we were promoting one speaker event in particular, and it was something to do with feminism being detrimental to women. And I would go around in downtown Boston, and we were producing social media content, and I would conduct the interviews. I would ask people general questions about feminism, and you get the typical answers from people. They tend to support that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm just as far as what other kinds of things do you do to reach out to people to grab them in Boston? I mean, there's. I mean, he has those rallies, and he would get out there, and he's right out in front of everybody on the campus. You don't have that ability, or haven't been afforded that ability to hold something like that to draw people. So, what do you do for outreach?
So the most recent thing that we did is my buddy Brian Foley recently hosted the Charlie Kirk Vigil in downtown Boston. And I assisted with the promotion and a couple other things to be able to put the event on. And we drew, I believe, 5,000 people. And and it was a powerful event, to be able to have all those people assemble in one spot, and it really just showed, even in Blue, Massachusetts, the impact that Charlie Kirk had. That was a major event, and props to him for that, because he's like he's a machine, the stuff that he does. But in terms of like our chapter, we're sort of limited. We can really only operate within the university, and once we like go out to the commons or any other property, it's city property. So we generally aren't afforded the privilege of hosting outdoor events like that.
Have you got pushback from politicians, local politicians, state politicians, or local?
As far we have not generally.
Especially people like, the mayor and the governor. They're,
Right,
they're hard
yeah.
leftists. So I was just curious. You have something to say, John?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anthony, what was the effect on you personally when you found out about Charlie Kirk's assassination? I mean, did you worry about where Turning Point was going to go? What was your actual feelings on that?
So it was a state of shock. It's like, how do you process that? Like I just remember opening X and seeing that at the top of my screen. Charlie Kirk shot. The video was all over X, and I couldn't believe it. It was horrifying to watch, and it's one of those things they say about tragic events like that. You're always gonna remember where you were when you
Right.
watched it.
That's true.
The
Very true.
Trump assassination attempt is one of those. I wasn't around for 9/11.
9/11.
But that's another one. But I do remember vividly sitting in class and just receiving the news, and I did not know how to process it. It really did catch me off guard. I was shaking, all kinds of things going on. As far as the future of Turning Point, I was, despite the devastation, I believed that Turning Point as an organization was viable. The viability of Turning Point can continue. Charlie Kirk was Turning Point essentially, but Turning Point can find a way to continue, especially when you see that we had about 3,500 chapters across the country, but there's been at least 60,000 chapter requests.
That's what I heard.
Yep. And that doesn't automatically translate to new chapters. A lot of people will find their school already has a chapter, as is the case with several of the new members at my school, people who have been at the school for several years. They would say, I had no idea Suffolk had a Turning Point USA chapter, and they got involved. There will be tons of new chapters created, but it's just, I think the organization's bigger than ever. AmericaFest is already sold out. If you go on the website, AmericaFest is sold out, and that's a positive indicator, because it hasn't sold that fast in previous years. If you looked at the Turning Point events, they're filling arenas now.
Do you believe that the predecessors that are taking over, Erica, his wife,
Yep.
do you believe that they have what it takes to keep this going as strong? And
Definitely, and I got to commend Erica.
She's getting a lot of heat. You know that.
Yeah, and I don't understand why she lost. People are.
I know.
Yeah, they're judging.
I agree.
Yeah, they're judging her for how she's grieving, which is just strange.
True.
The strength of her to be able to take on a huge role like that after she lost the person that she gave her life to, the love of her life, was shot, and I believe she witnessed it. I don't know, but even seeing the video or whatever,
She was there, I believe, with her daughter. Wasn't?
That's
I've yet to see the proof of that. I don't know that that's true. I thought they were. People have said they were, but I don't believe that was the case.
So you do, Anthony, you do believe that the people that were behind him or under him have the potential and the brains and
I think that strength alone is enough for me to be convinced that she can take on the organization and do big things with it.
Who does she have with her that's going to be, collaborating with her to push? She obviously can't do it herself.
Yeah. Turning Point has their board that elected her. It has, in terms of the operational side of things, they have all their people who were putting on the events, who were social media. All that's going to continue. Their events seem to be doing very well. They have tons of great people that they're hosting. They have a big one coming up that I believe JD Vance is going to be at. So they do have the resources to be able to continue. Donors are a huge part of it. It's a nonprofit charity. People donate to it, and that's what funds the organization for it to continue and to do the awesome things that it does. So as long as all those things continue and you have more people donating, you have more people getting involved. Chapters are a big part of it. One of their slogans is "Chapters change the world." People get involved, and it's strength in numbers. You have everything that was going on before at a bigger level. More members. You have more donors coming in. You have all the things that you need for the organization to thrive.
Now, let me ask you a question, Anthony. Do you have something to say, Johnny?
No, you're doing pretty good.
Okay, well, I mean, if you play with your diaper over there, I don't know what to tell you. We have to throw a little levity in, Anthony, because we're not used to this, having a kid 21 years old. Johnny was still wearing diapers at 21. Anyway, no, all kidding aside, what do you think? Was he losing donors? That's the word, that he was losing donors, millions of dollars from different donors, and who were they and why?
Yeah, so there was Candace Owens that you might be referring to, and Turning Point confirmed it to be true. Because Charlie Kirk would not cancel Tucker Carlson, he lost a $2 million donor.
Who was the donor?
Charlie, I believe, described it as a Jewish donor, so somebody who was probably pro-Israel.
That being said, do you think that the stories all over the internet, Israel possibly being behind his assassination, do you think there's any truth to that?
So I think there's a couple factors. I have not seen any concrete direct evidence for me to be able to say that Israel did it. I saw the text message leak.
Candace?
I saw Netanyahu released like a 3-minute video denying responsibility. A couple things to raise questions.
Well, the Candace Owens text message, it didn't really say anything. All it basically said is what he said publicly. So she really didn't give no smoking gun. Am I right?
What was the text message?
Tell Johnny, what was the content of the text message?
I believe the quote was something to the tune of, I just lost a $2 million Jewish donor. I'm going to have to leave the Israel cause. Something like that, I believe.
Okay. Now, but that's already, I have videos of him talking about Israel committing
Ethnic cleansing.
genocide.
Yep.
So it was already, in other words, Candace Owens, to me, I mean, I used to really love her. Now I'm starting to think she's a little bit of an opportunist.
Yes.
Because she's not really blowing anything out of the water. There's no smoking gun. Whatever she's saying, and we already know.
Yep.
There's videos all over the place with Charlie Kirk saying that, criticizing the Israeli government.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What do you think, Billy? You anything to add?
I personally think that we're never going to know why and who.
We still know nothing about the Trump assassin or the person who would have been the Trump assassin.
62 years later, we don't know about who pulled the JFK.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, Johnny believes Oswald.
Yeah.
Did you know that the CIA, the Secret Service, they just found a thing where Trump could have been assassinated getting off the plane. Did you see that?
Oh, yeah.
They found like a sniper's nest.
Where?
What was this?
Where was it?
Where they land the plane in was it
In Washington?
Washington D.C.
Was it Washington?
Yeah.
That's right. You're right, because I seen him.
Oh, thank you, Joe.
Well, you're right once in a while, Johnny. See, you can tell Johnny's a pro. He just lets me be. No, but they did say that there was a picture of him going up a smaller stairs into the plane. Did you see it?
No, I didn't see it.
He went they made him go on an emergency entrance of Air Force One for whatever reason. Anyways, getting back to the Israeli involvement. Do you believe there was any involvement?
I can't definitively make the statement now. I can look at the certain details. Charlie Kirk sort of deviating away from the pro-Israel ideology. I can look at the leaked text messages. And obviously, I can't say because it was a Jewish donor they were pro-Israel, but it definitely is leading to certain people asking those questions. And all I can say is there's a lot of ambiguity. We don't have enough details. And the moment you question certain things, they shut you down. So,
yeah, but the thing is, why did he decide to, stray from the donors that were supplying?
So I think. it's tough to support the Israeli government. You look at Israel. What has supporting Israel benefited us? I personally can't be America first and also be pro-Israel, because advocating for the interests of America is advocating for the interests of America only. You look at Osama bin Laden's letter to America in 2002, and he cited as one of his grievances our continued
Presence.
military and financial support for Israel, bombing countries in the Middle East. And if you're America first and you think we need to limit the amount of refugees we take in, we're displacing so many people bombing countries on Israel's behalf. And then you look at Israel, there's evidence to suggest that they knew about October 7th prior to it happening, and October 7th was a tragedy and it should not have happened. But there's leaks that they knew about it, and you have a country, Israel, a major country with the security apparatus they have.
It's hard to believe it happened.
Yeah,
it took place.
And then they went in, and with their targeted strikes, they destroyed most of Gaza. So it's not something that.
Where did Charlie Kirk think he was going to replace those donors that he was going to be losing? Was there any other, avenues where he was going to get donors to replace those donors?
That's
a lot of money he will be losing.
Yeah, and I think it's a generational thing more than anything. I think with enough time, because understanding the criticism of the Israeli government is more of a. There's a gap between previous generations and the current generation. It's this generation that's willing to do it, and I'm not saying that as someone who's pro-Palestine. I'm America first, and I believe we don't need any involvement, and that's not something that you see with people who are a little bit older in age. So I think with a certain amount of time, that's I guess the best way to explain. You might see a shift where the institutional people with large amounts of money are going to be a little bit more aligned with prioritizing America's national interests.
And you actually met Charlie Kirk several times, you said?
I've had a couple brief interactions with him, being a student leader with Turning Point USA. They host several conferences every year. They host the Student Action Summit, which is their summer conference, and which the one that precedes the one that's held prior to the Student Action Conference, but it's within like the same week,
right,
is Chapter Leadership Summit, which is exclusively for the chapter leaders. Then you have the Young Women's Leadership Summit, which also occurs in the summer, and then America Fest, which is the biggest event of the year. That's in December. But with Student Action Summit and CLS in particular, they host a chapter leaders breakfast. So there's probably 300, 400 of us in a room, and Charlie comes in and I'm not joking, goes from table to table and talks to every single person.
And how many people were at the event?
So SAS Student Action Summit would eventually open up to thousands of people, but Chapter Leadership Summit is just a few hundred of us.
So you had a chat, you had an interaction with him?
Yes.
Yeah.
The most recent interaction with him was summer of 2024 during Chapter Leadership Summit.
Oh, was he a nice guy?
Incredible guy.
Yeah. He looked like a nice guy.
Yes, his peers and colleagues would describe him as somebody who's inquisitive in nature, who wants to get to know you and ask you questions about yourself, which is a nice quality of him because it's just a polite thing to do. And he would remember those things. Like he you guys are the Suffolk guys. You guys go to Suffolk, right? So he would remember those things, but he would ask us about our struggles on campus and some of the things that we go through. So he's a very thoughtful person. Like all that stuff is true. It would just be in those there'd be a group of like us from the Northeast who have the chance to talk to him, and but he was a great guy.
What do you think? Go ahead, John.
Anthony, so now you're in your senior year at Suffolk.
Yes.
And you're taking marketing. So now you're going to graduate. Now, where does that lead you with Turning Point? Where do you go from here, Anthony? Are you able to still be involved in what type of capacity?
So there's ways for people who are not in school to be involved with Turning Point. Donating to the organization's a big one. Going to their conferences is another way. In terms of Turning Point chapters, that's limited to just campuses, so I wouldn't be able to engage in that. But I'm always going to be a supporter of the organization. It's a big part of my life. We'll see where time takes me, but my time with operating and facilitating the Turning Point chapter will come to an end in May once I graduate.
I was thinking, Johnny, you should have taken your grandkids here to meet. They would have been interested in this.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I didn't even
All
think
all three boys are interested in.
they were, yeah,
all three.
All three.
You're kidding.
Joe, I couldn't believe it when my daughter told me how upset they were.
All three of the kids. Now, what's the ages?
18, 15, and 10. And they were so upset. And I'm thinking, again, my apologies, but I didn't really know too much about Charlie Kirk.
Neither did I. I watched them, but
yeah. And so when I heard that, how affected they were by this individual, and when you think of what Charlie Kirk stood for, family values, getting back to bringing families together.
How did your grandchildren get? Because I know your daughter is very conservative.
Yeah. Probably on social media, probably the things that they deal with.
Yeah, but the social media is would you agree, Anthony? Social media is a cancer.
In many ways, yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. How could your grandchildren? It's amazing, marvelous.
Joe, I don't know. I
Marvelous.
can't tell you exactly how they.
Did you tell them you were going to be interviewing a young man?
I went over to my oldest grandson. He's 18. He's at Bridgeton Prep School in Maine, and he was home for a couple of days. So I went up to see him today, and I didn't know. I was only there for such a short time. I forgot to mention.
The oldest one would have really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And
I got something here. I want to talk.
Go ahead, Billy. You mean you're awake?
Yeah, I'm awake. I'm snoozing for a little bit. But
I knew I
couldn't.
I heard.
Couldn't, as long as Joey's in the room, I ain't getting
Who
the
woke
word
up the
in.
grizzly bear?
I knew I heard something.
So my big thing for me was as soon as I heard that he was gone, I just put my head down and said, God, who in the world is going to be able to replace this guy? Because he wasn't just a good guy. Okay, there was reasons why he was a good guy.
Absolutely.
And there were and the fact that his heart and his whole, he spent more time preaching the gospel at those meetings, those rallies that no one saw. That was the beginning message of everything, is that people came to know Christ at those rallies. And can you, would you, am I wrong? Is that something that you experienced when you went to any of the events where he was present?
Yes. His faith was a big part of him, and there's the famous clip of him saying he wants to be remembered for his faith, and that's, I think, an important thing. And I think you're seeing people come back to God, because for the longest amount of time, church attendance was going down. People were becoming less religious, and it's detrimental, because with religion you find clarity, you find tranquility, and it's beneficial in several other ways. They say couples who pray together stay together. So I think it's an important. I think faith is an important thing that people need to be in touch with, and it's something, like I said, that I've right after his death, I said, I need to start going to church more, and I think that's the case for many people.
The most important thing for me, like one of the things I want to stress, and because this is me, I'm not speaking for anybody else in this room. I'm speaking for me. The most important thing for me to get out of this, get out into the world, is it's not just to have faith. It's not to have faith in religion, but it's to have faith in Almighty God and what God sent His Son, His sacrifice. It's not about religion. It's about a relationship with Jesus Christ. Mm. And I was just wondering, is that something that you guys stress here in Boston as well?
So we primarily focus on the political side of things. Handful of our members are more religious than others, and that's something that I applaud. I think being in touch with your faith is important, and having that relationship with Jesus, as you mentioned. I think it's a really powerful mechanism for society, and as it's something that I begin to explore, hopefully I can profess it. Yeah.
I would hope that you would. I really would, because there's nothing, even as a young man, and you will find as the years go by, and Johnny can attest to it, Joey can, and Dennis is also sitting in the room here, he can attest to, the years go by faster than you could ever imagine, and you'll be on the back nine before you know it, and you want to make sure that you know in whom you believe.
Yeah.
Not necessarily in what you believe, but in whom you believe. So with that being said, I want to change the subject to, how excited are you about the alternative to the NFL, the Super Bowl party that these guys, they're totally overrunning this Bad Bunny thing, and they've got so many. Adam Sandler's involved. You got Blake Shelton involved. There's so many.
Blake Shelton is pro Bunny.
No, bro, he's there. These guys are all. The Turning Point is sponsoring an alternative. It's an all-American.
Did they release the performers yet?
These are the people that are already speaking out.
Go ahead,
for
say.
it.
I want to know who they are.
I just said, like, you got Blake Shelton, Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler. A lot of the country music guys are Jason Aldean is involved. Even
what is Adam Sandler going to do? Comedy? A comedy?
yeah,
star?
he's going to be like they're talking like him being being a host or something like that. Yeah.
That's awesome.
When's Kid Rock going to be announced?
Yeah, he was actually, he is involved. He wasn't announced.
That would be incredible. I hope that. Yeah. I got to go look into that after.
There's a whole. So it's an entire group of people that said, forget this. This is the alternative. It's the, I forget what they call it. It's the All-American something. It's been everywhere online.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you guys haven't seen it, but it's exciting for me. I think it's like,
I'm thrilled.
You can't. Yeah. You just can't even imagine.
So let me ask you a question. So when Super Bowl halftime, they're going to be performing somewhere else. They're going to switch the cameras there.
They're gonna either it's going to be an alternative network, or it's going to end up. They're going to switch from the network that they're on from the Super Bowl halftime show to the All-American show.
Oh, good.
Oh yeah, because the network is not going to give it an alternative Bad Bunny. Johnny's a fan of Bad Bunny, by the way.
Hey, to each their own.
Anthony,
we were actually talking about Joey. We were going to send them to Jordan. It's not even Jordan's anymore. It's Macy's. Sit him at the counter and get him all made up. And we were going to get him. We were going to let him come in with his.
Johnny and I, we had a couple of weeks ago. Johnny called me a dog. He said, I don't know why he got that. He said, since you're a doctor now, he says, maybe you could prescribe something. And then we got into the Bad Bunny thing, and it was comical. But getting back to the Bad, I don't know much about him. What I do know about him is I don't understand how anybody could be. See, the problem with my generation and in general, they talk a big game. I won't watch the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I couldn't care less.
Yeah.
Johnny will be watching. Billy will be watching it.
I'm not really interested in it.
I'm not watching it. And that's the problem. Nobody backs it up because you hit them where it hurts.
Yes.
In the pocket.
Yep.
If nobody watched, look what they did with Bud Light, John.
Bud Light, yes.
You know.
Yep.
So tell me, Anthony, being in the position you are with Turning Point, have you and your peers, have you ever discussed any conspiracy theories? I mean, between each other, or have you just accepted what what has been in the news and so forth? And
It's a great question.
Hear that, Joe?
Yeah.
Great question.
Bingo.
All right.
You're not as dumb as he looks, you know.
Let's do we have any examples of theories? We'll go from there.
Of the assassination you're talking about, John?
Yeah. Charlie Kirk's.
I thought he might talk about JFK, you know.
No.
Yeah.
They definitely have. They said that it's been on the internet and on Facebook and all this stuff that his security team was Israeli, and that it was the kid on the roof was filmed after the event. The guy running across the roof. The fact that when when you got a guy like me, I'm a detective. I want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
I take the time to look at it, and I watch every part of it. I watch that thing frame by frame. The kid on the roof.
Inspector Clouseau.
Inspector
And
Clouseau.
Dr. Joe. We got an inspector, a doctor, and a fuck up. Johnny and me love to go back and forth because I'm glad Johnny brought that up because without Johnny bringing that up, I wouldn't even thought about it. We had a podcast a couple of weeks ago, Billy.
Yep.
And Johnny and I were going back and forth. He believes, which he's entitled to. I don't begrudge him. He believes that that 22-year-old kid pulled the trigger. That kid pulled the trigger. I don't.
Yep.
What do you say? What you say? You?
It's for me, there hasn't been credible evidence to be able to believe any of the theories that are going around. As of now, the prevailing theme is or prevailing idea is that the kid acted alone. And
Do you believe it?
do I believe it? I can't believe anything with certainty. I can't believe that. I can't believe the theories. Just because I didn't see the kid do it, but I also haven't seen enough evidence for to lend enough credibility for any of the theories to also be 100% true.
But what does your instinct tell you?
You have a kid who was a liberal. He was dating like a transgender man.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
So it's definitely somebody who despised Charlie and despised his message. So it's certainly plausible that the kid did it, and I guess that's probably where I'd be at the moment on that.
I personally don't believe it. And
Neither do I.
And the reason I don't believe it, first of all, is the caliber of the rifle. They're saying that you get a human neck. It's not as big as an elk's neck.
Yeah.
And if I could take down a 300-pound elk and blow a hole completely through it, I'm going to hit a human being in the neck here, and there's not going to be an exit wound. A 30-06 will rip your head.
Yeah.
Well, they already come to the conclusion that it wasn't a 30-06, right?
Well, if they did, then they disproved their own all their theories.
Johnny, do you still believe it was the lone gunman?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do.
I mean, no, look at it.
I just
Millions
think,
of people
you
do.
know,
It's not easy.
some of these young kids, they're sick in the head, and they have access to guns, and they're these people don't know who they are, and they want to make a name for themselves, and they go out and they commit these hideous crimes.
There's precedent for that, and it's disgusting. But you're right about that.
Yeah.
Oh, Johnny's not alone. There's millions of people that believe it was alone. I mean, there's still some people. Bill O'Reilly, who was one of my idols. You know Bill O'Reilly.
Yep.
I've been watching him for 30 years, and he insists that Oswald was the shooter for Kennedy.
He wrote a book.
I know. He insisted Oswald. So you're not alone, Johnny. No, I'm not making.
Wait a minute. I don't believe Oswald acted alone.
Oh,
Joey.
I thought you did.
Joey, are you out of your mind?
Well, Bill O'Reilly does.
I was a conspiracy guy in 1970,
Okay.
70.
What's your thought of Bill O'Reilly, who I admire, thinking specifically? He said it recently.
I read the book. I read his book
Okay.
cover to cover.
Did you
and
hear
I
what?
totally did not agree with what he wrote.
Yeah, because I don't either, and I usually do fall right in line
There is
with.
so much evidence that Oswald was a
Why would he
CIA
come up with
operative.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So much
But
evidence.
why would Bill O'Reilly come up with that?
Because, you know,
He's a
first of
brilliant
all, let
man.
me just say something, Joe.
Yeah.
All those books that he wrote, he's written about 7 or 8 books.
More, yeah.
He's got a team of people
Yeah.
that do all the research. All he does
I know.
is put his name on it. That's
Oh,
all
I
Bill
don't know
O'Reilly.
about that, Johnny. He has
Joey, trust me, that's how it
to.
goes.
He has to have some credibility and some input.
Well,
I mean, what if somebody puts in there Bad Bunny's a great entertainer? He has to sign that too.
I wouldn't sign that. I know that.
This was great. Imagine a 21-year-old kid being this articulate and, like I said, we were
fantastic.
I was in diapers
I
at
mean,
21.
You know,
seriously, it's amazing. Amazing.
When I listen to this kid talk, I'm captivated.
Yes.
And I'm captivated by the fact that, you know, you're
age.
listen, you may what, 21?
Yes.
Okay, so you're a baby to me, all right. But you're articulate. You're informative.
Thank you.
You're smart, and I love where you're going with your
You
whole.
could be a
career.
grandchild, absolutely. Imagine that. Maybe a great grandchild for you, but I love busting your bum.
I'll get him. I'll get
Oh,
him.
you know, Dennis, you don't understand. He gets me all the time, so I have to get him first. You know what they say? The best defense is a good offense. But what I want before we finish, because we don't like to go too long more than an hour. What do you have for time, Billy?
We got a couple of minutes left.
Keep going, yeah.
Oh no,
just
what I
keep
wanted
going.
before we close it up, I want to know what's your any political ambitions?
That's something that I'm currently figuring out at the moment. whether I want to be involved in politics behind the scenes or publicly. Currently, I'm working with Wayne.
Wayne, good friend
as
of
you
mine.
mentioned
Sure.
in the teaser to this, and we're almost at election day, and I've gained significant experience with that. He's the first person who believed in me and was willing to take me on, and I was able to implement my voter outreach, graphics designing. I was able to hone in on those skills, the messaging, all kinds of things, and it's been able to establish me a little bit more. And I enjoy the work that I do with Wayne, and part of that is because he's a great guy to work with.
He's a great
funny.
guy.
Yeah.
Lifelong friend
Yeah.
of mine, you know.
Yep.
That's how I met you. I was
yes.
doing a time for
Yes.
Wayne last week.
Yep.
And he introduced me to him, and as soon as he told me, and I spoke to him.
It was a great idea. Yeah, that was an awesome thing to come in.
And-
Here. But if you ever do have any political aspirations, one little bit of advice: if you say something, stick with it, back it up.
Yep.
There's so many politicians today; they'll tell you what you want to hear and do completely the opposite.
Absolutely.
you
Yeah.
know?
That's
So
a huge problem
stick-
with our politics.
That's right.
Yeah.
Stick by your word. Let your word be who you are.
Yep.
You know, and that's
So problem is though, Johnny, in a blue state like Massachusetts, him running for something, it's going to be tough.
It's a
Oh,
challenge.
boy, yeah,
All
it is
conservatives.
a challenge. But you know, a kid
But
like him
Massachusetts-
needs he's the type of kid
Well,
that can meet those challenges.
Charlie Baker was a Republican, so was Bill Weld.
Well, Bill, but
Governor Sargent,
yeah, but
Salucci.
what they called them? They were called
Rhinos.
Rhinos.
Rhinos. Yeah. Okay.
Well, Billy's awake.
Massachusetts
Hey!
shifted 8 points to the right in 2024, so there is hope for the future, but there's work to do.
So
for sure.
you at this moment at your age, young age at 21, you would probably you think you'd like to rather be in the background.
As of now, I enjoy the work that I'm doing. I'm not going to rule out running for office, but I feel like it's one of those things where I have to be called on to do it by some major event. Like if Kamala Harris were to have rigged the election or win or whatever in 2024. That's probably something that would have prompted me to run for office in some capacity, because that's not something our country could handle. Something so far left. So it has to be some major event. Like right now, Trump's in office, and for the most part, he's doing a good job. It doesn't mean the work stops there, because you have like Mamdani in New York.
Well,
for
he's
instance.
only got 3 more years. So
Yeah.
what's going to happen?
What's
and
gonna happen
and
next
another
is a great
thing is,
question.
Anthony, what do you think about the midterms? How do you feel about I'm nervous about the midterms.
I'm nervous. For some reasons, I'm nervous for. I'm not nervous for other reasons. I mean, you look at things that are impacting Trump's favorability, the economy, which we're seeing mixed signals. We're not seeing the sort of instantaneous recovery that Trump promised, but we are seeing good signs. Like GDP came in at 3.8% in the most recent quarter. That's obviously because of his economic policies. You see tariff revenue at $195 billion, and Trump's able to use that, and through this Democrat government shutdown, he's able to keep programs like the Women and Children's Program running. He's able to keep our service members paid. So there's a couple things, but the liberal media doesn't talk about that. They talk about ICE. But the truth is, we're not seeing those mass deportations that the Democrats are fear-mongering about, which we voted for it, but we're not seeing it. But that's what the media talks about, so it's selective reporting, and because of that, everybody believes that there's this big ICE issue, and ICE is at everyone's front door, and that's something that's going to have an adverse impact on Trump's favorability, and it might impact Republicans in the midterms. But there's also, I think, by the midterms, we'll have enough time for Trump's policies to really kick in, and we're going to see this economy roaring. I saw today that the national average for gas is below $3. So we're starting to see positive effects, and by November of 2026, I'm sure enough of those effects will be felt for people to know that Trump's doing a great job.
Now you were mentioning, and then Joey kind of cut you off a little bit, like he always does. You mentioned the mayor of which could be the future mayor, which I think is going to absolutely devastate New York City. This guy becoming the mayor of New
Yep.
York City, actual communist.
Yep.
This is not good.
It's
Well, go ahead.
catastrophic because not only is he going to destroy New York, which if the New York voters vote for that, then there's not much hope.
But the problem I see,
the chain
Anthony,
reaction, so many other people.
Exactly what
and
you took the
we've
words out of my
discussed
mouth.
this at Wayne's event. It's going to there's going to be so many people inspired by that to run for office, but there's a way for New York to actually get their stuff together and stop that. You
There's
have
a
two
bunch
people.
of mandamis, whatever his name is, ready to be,
Yep.
like what's the word? Activated.
Yep. But you have two people running against Mamdani, and I was actually looking at the polls today because this is something I was talking about with some buddies. Mamdani's dominating in the polls, but he's in like the 40 to 50 range. Then you have Cuomo and
Sliwell.
Swiler.
Sliwell.
And they're neck and neck, and they're like, and Cuomo's a little bit over 20%, and Sliwa's a little bit under 20%. And Sliwa is a Republican, I believe, but unfortunately, he's a long shot in a state like New York. So as much as I don't like Cuomo, the smart thing to do
I
is
agree.
for Sliwa to drop out and endorse Cuomo.
He's
because
been
Exactly.
He's
Yep.
been offered millions, Sliwell, by donors, billionaire donors, have been offered millions to
Trump wants him to
drop out.
To drop out.
Everybody
too.
does. All the billionaires want him to drop out
Yep.
because he can't win.
Yep,
He
because
can't win.
It's the Mamdani vote and the not Mamdani vote, and the non-Mamdani vote is split between Sliwa and Cuomo, and you can't have like a spoiler like you had in like the 1992 election.
But Ross Perot.
Yep. Which, as much as I think Ross Perot probably would have been a good
A
president,
great president.
better than Bill Clinton, better than George Bush. He was a long shot, and he wasn't going to win.
He
and-
would have
and
been a
Ross
great
Perot
president.
had his own issues because he dropped out of the race, and he really killed his momentum there. But he was a spoiler, which is the same thing going on in New York.
Well, looking back, I got to be honest with you. Looking back I was following politics even back then. Looking back at that, as much as he spoiled, Clinton wasn't a bad president, and I'm not
No,
a
he
Bush.
wasn't,
I'm
yeah.
not a Bush fan at all.
Yeah,
I was.
Yeah, I'm not a Bush guy, and I'm not. But despite me not being a Democrat, I could recognize some of the good things that Bill Clinton did. He
Absolutely.
deported illegal immigrants. Same with Barack Obama, actually. He had a great economy. So I mean, there were a couple positives to Bill Clinton for sure.
I made a lot of money when Bill Clinton was in office. I thought he was a good, not great, but a good
Yeah.
president. What did you think, Johnny, about Bill
No,
Clinton?
he was. No, I give credit what credit is due.
Absolutely.
But I'm going to tell you something right now. I did not have sex with that woman.
It was a
You
guy.
Listen to me.
Whoa!
It was a he.
You know, it's
I like this. He laughs at my jokes.
it's really funny.
He's the only one.
That's all they got. It's a funny thing lately. The Republicans, that's all they got, because Clinton was talking about everything that Trump was talking about. He was talking about the wall.
Clinton was a moderate.
He was a great
Yeah.
president.
He wasn't a
And he
hard.
believed
Trump and
on
Clinton are both
deporting,
moderates. Yeah.
illegals
Yeah.
too. Clinton.
He was
did.
a moderate.
Obama
Democrat.
too. Obama was actually called the deporter in chief. He deported the most illegals out of all the modern presidents.
That's stunning to
and
me.
think about
because-
how far left the Democrats have moved since the Obama
And I thought
administration.
Obama was a left.
Pretty far left, yeah. And the Democrats now Obama's a moderate compared to the Democratic Party of today.
But Obama caused this
Caused.
far left.
He did.
He causes this ridiculous left is all because of him.
Yep.
It's all because of his
Absolutely.
out there. I'm gonna. What did he call? How did he say? He's gonna change the
Fundamentally
the-
changed America.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he certainly did.
Well, when he took, let me tell you something. When he took religion out of the classrooms, when he took,
That's
the
been
Pledge
going
of
on since
Allegiance-
the '80s, Johnny.
No,
That's been. It's
no.
been. They've been Billy, tell him.
Obama was the one that stopped
He-
that business.
Started that business. You mean?
Started the fact that you couldn't because of Muslims.
They
in
started
the classroom. They didn't want to do the Pledge of
They
Allegiance.
started the Christmas banning Christmas in the '90s, Johnny. Believe me, they were starting. It was
I don't
already.
know. I don't know who you.
Wait.
I don't know.
Oh no, I know people that went to.
What was Obama's years in office?
08 to
08 to yeah. So they were talking about banning Christmas, and they were talking about
way before.
way before.
Way
I mean,
before
Obama
Obama.
certainly didn't
taking
do any favors for
taking prayer out of school.
Yeah,
all
Way
that
before
stuff.
Obama.
But you guys just said there was talk. Obama put it into.
He carried it out.
That's,
He carried it out.
That's where I was going.
Okay.
That's exactly where I
Thank
was
you.
going.
All right,
So there you go.
But he didn't
So there
create
you go,
it.
Joey
But he didn't
Canzano.
create it, Mr. Peasy.
There's always talk about everything. But I feel like Trump right now.
You got to do
Looks
the
like-
fingers. You got to do the fingers.
I had a nice joke, but I can't on the air. I love this kid. He laughs at my jokes.
Yeah,
Finally,
wow.
someone.
Hey, there's finally somebody out
Hey,
there.
funny thing is, Johnny's a pro. He's the best. I mean, a few other people, my favorite. But when I watch these guys on stage, and then I try it, it's not as easy as you think. Because I'll tell. No, seriously, I'm not even joking. I'm not trying to suck up to Johnny because he's paying for dinner me tonight, anyways. But all kidding aside, when I tell a couple of jokes on stage and it goes good, I say, "Oh, this is great."
Yeah.
And I start beating my chest. The next one, right down the toilet. For my next song.
Yeah.
Oh, John, did you ever see Johnny's work?
I got to tell you something, Anthony. What a refreshing, great
This was great.
host.
This was
you've been.
absolutely great.
I mean, you've made me smarter just by listening.
And that's
to
how
a
I
appreciate
lot of
that.
things
Thank you.
that you've talked about, and you're an inspiration to a lot of young kids. Keep
think,
on doing the work that you're doing.
that's
one last
one of-
question.
yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's one of the things that keeps me going, actually, because a lot of the things I hear from my peers is they're worried about the backlash that you're going to face. But the thing I tell them is you just have to remember that what you're fighting for is moral, what you're fighting for is virtuous, what you're fighting for is good, it's positive. There's nothing controversial about being pro-family, pro-tradition, pro-faith. That's what keeps me going.
Amen. And you know what? One last thing. Johnny just started about 10 years ago. I was really crazy on the internet. I mean, I hated I despised Obama with a passion. So I used to say a lot of things that were probably today I'd be banned. And Johnny specifically said to me, Joey, you know how many people are looking at these things? I did. He's not wrong. I lost a lot of work
Wow.
over the years, thousands of dollars. Billy didn't really engage too much with that. He was smarter than me. Johnny was smarter than me now, but now he's doing what I used to do, and he don't care anymore. So I think after a certain age, you just don't care.
When
Yeah.
you got one foot in the grave, who cares?
Yep.
Well, you got both feet in, so. Anyways,
I must be the crypt keeper then.
one,
Jesus. Oh, my God.
one last
telling
question
you.
before we call it a day.
Sure.
Call it a night. If you did decide to run locally, what would you do? School committee, counselor, what?
School committee is something that's always been important to me because a lot of the development of children occurs in the schooling system, and you have to have teachers who don't profess and proclaim they're a Republican or a Democrat. You need to expose the students to the objective facts and let them think for themselves. Teach them how to think, not what to say, what to do. Teach them how to think.
What if the curriculum is mandating that you to teach, like say critical race theory?
Yeah, it's critical race theory is a disaster. You're teaching whites that they're privileged and that they are where they are, and there's a lot of whites who have certain privileges, not because of institutional or systemic, because all that's been outlawed. But you have whites who are well off and some who are not well off. You have black students who are well off and some who are not well off. So this whole white privilege thing is obviously a myth. And you have CRT, which tells black kids that they're disadvantaged, and it's racist at its core because you're limiting the potential of those students by telling them you should not reach high. Because there's this privilege and this hatred that really is non-existent, and you're telling people to fear this imaginary. It also stokes racial division. You look at race relations. Actually, speaking of Obama, before the Obama administration, race relations were good, and then after Obama's administration, race relations were poor.
Right.
And
So you went
CRT played a big part in
The
that.
CRT is basically already pre-programming the
Yep.
mind
Yep.
to feel
Yep.
or to think of fear. But anyway, this was fantastic. I could go another hour with this guy.
Oh yeah.
Well,
It's amazing. It's
We,
amazing.
we really appreciate you being here. Absolutely,
I appreciate the
you.
invite. It was
You're
great
not going to
time.
be. It's not going to be
It
the
was a-
last
it was a-
time.
it was a
Johnny
great-
got a lot more to learn.
Some people come on here and as soon as they open your mouth, you feel like you're a Harvard graduate.
Yeah.
And then other times,
I feel
you
like
got
I-
somebody come on
yeah.
that helps you get educated.
Well, it makes you-
This was
Thank you.
this was a
This
great,
was a great
It
experience.
humbles
Yeah.
you and makes you feel
really great experience.
dumb.
So, but we really appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take off. We're Straight Talk Boston. We're here every Monday night at 6 o'clock. If we do change the time, we will let it be known on social media. We love you. We appreciate you. And we want you to know that
Thank you.
we're going to be your voice. So if you have questions and enjoy those kinds of things,
Johnny, stop hogging.
if you enjoy this
He thinks
this
he's holding out to
podcast-
something else.
yeah, if you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe. Straight Up Talk Boston. We love you. Here we go. We're out. Helps if we turn it on.
Attaboy, Billy.